Hello, this is Artist Diaries, part 2, or number 2, I should say, not part, but Artist Diaries number 2. What we're about to cover in this video, I've already made a song about unknowingly. I made the song first before ever making a video on this topic. And so that's just the magic of this message. That's just how I know for myself that my real self is working through me, and I am in connection with my real self, which is very important. So now listen up. For real, listen up. What I'm about to share with you is a real gem, okay? And I finally found the correct term for this energy that be talking to me, okay? It don't feel right when I call it God. It don't feel right when I call it my higher self, but it feels right. It's like it's confirming to me, like, okay, now you figured out what I am, okay? My real self. My real self, the me that's bigger than this me, but uses this version of me to experience the physical realm, only to grow in a certain area that it wants to grow in. The real me wants to grow in. So the real me goes, I want to grow in this certain area. For me, in this case, it's I want to learn how to indulge in the senses and ignore crisis. I want to learn how to actually be calm in the silence, in the stillness, instead of always enduring crisis. So since I'm a soul, how do I achieve this growth? Okay, I have to make a body, and I have to make a false sense ego, a lower me, which is this me right now, and she's going to be living in the physical realm, which is a matrix simulation reality that is going to be catered and designed by me. The events and circumstances and situations that happens in the simulation is going to be catered and designed by me, aka the real self, in order to fulfill this goal of wanting to grow in this certain area, learning how to just indulge in the senses, be calm, and not panic when everything is still and there's no crisis going on, right? So that's like that's for me, right? Like that's because I did my soul searching, I did my shadow work, I studied my astrology chart to discover like this truth about me. So you can do the same thing about you, right? So now back to the point. So key, so important that I figured out the right term, because now that we figured out the right term, right? Because it doesn't feel right when I call it my intuition either. Even though it does feel right when I call it my intuition, but it's like I'm calling it my intuition because I don't know what it really is. You know what I mean? It's like it's like yes, it is your intuition, but when you have, especially as a woman, I mean, men experience it too, but when you have a real intuitive hit, it feels like something other than you is telling you this. It doesn't feel like it's coming from you. Like when you can sense something is going to happen, it doesn't feel like that. Knowing doesn't feel like it's coming from your own knowledge. It feels like it's coming from something higher than you that is making you aware of something and is calling your attention to it. So it's like, what is that higher thing that's calling my attention to this? Like, how do I know this? Like, yes, it's my intuition, but like when you go deeper, like something is talking to me and something is talking to you. Okay, when you feel that, we know this. So what is that? Okay, it ain't God. I'm sorry, it just don't feel right when I say God. Because it's not something outside of you. It's literally you. It's your real self. Okay, your soul. So the you that has intrinsic value. And yes, okay, so was always here. So this real you, right? So many times we, especially in spirituality, we get wrapped up in our inner child and wanting to, heal our inner child, right? But you're not a master healer, are you? More times than not, you don't know what you're doing. We don't know what we're doing, okay? More times than not, we don't know what we're doing, which is why, we'll, try to learn everything that we can learn, or we'll try to, we'll really try to get connected to that intuition, which is where I was leading this conversation to. That intuition, which is your real self, speaking to its matrix simulated false self, which is the you that you identify as, the you that you see, that you, okay? It communicates to you, and you are to listen to it, right? So when it comes to doing something that we don't really know what we're doing, right? For example, but we know it's important, right? For example, healing our inner child. You would look, right? We would look to our real self, okay? Our real self. We would look and really feel it in your belly when you say it, because that's where the voice speaks. That's where, when you go to listen, that's where you go to listen to. It feels, it go under, not up, if that makes sense. Depending on how much time you spend alone. Real talk. Oh, that's gonna make sense to you or not, depending on how much time you spend alone, honestly. But you gotta go deep. You gotta go in. You gotta go under. And you gotta listen. And it's down below in the root chakra. Because the root chakra has to do with fear and survival and all this, that, and the third. And when we're disconnected from our real self, we're down in that root chakra. So our real self is trying to speak to our root chakra, to our nervous system, to the parts of us that disconnects us from ourself, from our real self, like fear, like being in survival mode, right? It's speaking to those parts of us and trying to get, and trying to connect with us back through those parts of us, because that's the root, right? That's the root of it all, right? The root of the separation between self and spirit, self and real self, self and soul, right? So, sorry, where was I going with that? So, when dealing with the things of the root, and that includes the inner child healing, right? All of the root traumas of your inner child, it's going to be found in the root chakra. You see what I'm saying? It's going to start off from there as it goes from the bottom up. So yes, there's going to be traumas that's in the sacral chakra and the heart chakra. But the point is that it starts from the bottom up. So you start off with the root chakra and you connect with the real you there. You listen to the voice there, and then it'll move up from there to the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is what deals with depression. It's your life force energy. So it's you heal the root chakra, and then now you could hear that you could hear that silent voice a little bit louder now in the solar plexus chakra. Yes, this is facts. My real self is speak to him. My real self is confirming to me yes, girl, you are on point. So yes, then it goes up to the root chakra. And then you could hear your real self, the voice, a little bit louder now in the root chakra. And it's guiding you in terms of your life force energy. It's giving you energy to do certain things that is in alignment with itself, which is yourself, your real self. So in my last video, my most recent video, that's like right under this video, I talked about, you're distracting me. I talked about how your ego, right, your false self, often mimics its desires and longings from the real you, right? So it will take your real, just go watch that video. But yeah, it'll take your real actual longings and desires that you forgot about because you kind of lost yourself. And losing yourself is just is disconnecting, losing that connection from that intuition, that real self. So we've all lost ourselves trying to, because everything in this matrix is misleading, because we have the ones that are in power are rebellious, lower vibrational entities that don't care to follow the longings and destinies of their soul. They want to stay in the simulation. They don't ever want to come back to self, come back to their real self after death. They want to just stay here in the simulation that the real self created for them. It's crazy, because here they have all the glory and all the power. Anyways, just very immature spirits. So just baby spirits. They haven't gone through enough experiences in terms of lifetimes. But anyways, so what was I keep going on rants and tangents. So yeah, in that video I talked about how, like, your ego, your lower self, the simulation, your avatar. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Your avatar self, often when disconnected from the real self, right? When we lose ourselves and forget who we are over the years, of being so disconnected from ourselves, right? Oftentimes what happens is that, like, we're made in the image of our real self. So we're still going to be imitating our real self, but we have a mind of our own, we have a free will of our own. So now when we go and when we go to achieve our desires, or when we go to achieve our longings, or whatever it is that we want, or whatever, what happens is that, like, we're going after something that mimics what it is we truly want. And the only way that we could discover what is that true longing, that true thing we want, is by peeling back the layers, doing shadow work, coming back, trying to connect back with the real self. And that's just listening to yourself, that silent voice in the stillness. This is what you got to do it. You got to do it spending time alone. You have to spend lots of time alone, because, like, that's the only way to come back to the real self, to connect to the real self. Lots and lots of time alone, lots of time in deep thought and meditation and contemplation, shadow work, self-therapy. Shadow work is just self-therapy. So with that being said, listen, like the title, okay? This was a very important thing that I was saying in the beginning of the video. That's a gem. Listen to your real self. Your real self. Listen to your real self. So, I gave the context on why it's relevant, but now let me give you more reasons as to why you want to do this. Why you want to do the work of peeling back the layers. And I really suggest you go and watch that video, so it makes more sense. It ties perfectly into this video. I love how my real self inspires me to make a video, and it ties into what I was previously talking about. Like, come on. Okay. Anyways, I get excited. So the reason why you want to do this is because it's your real self. And what you truly long for, when you get it, it's going to give you that, like I said in the previous video, that soul satisfaction. Okay? If you go and chase, oh, I'm saving you here. I'm saving you here. If you go and chase what your avatar self thinks it wants, thinks it desires, thinks it longs for, if you go and chase after that instead, and then you actually get it, watch you be unsatisfied. Watch you be unsatisfied. And this is why people have all the money in the world, all the riches in the world, all the females in the world, the hottest guys in the world, the nicest cars in the world. All the girls want to be her. All the men want her. The nicest body in the world. But yet it's so miserable inside. So empty inside. Something's missing still. There's a void there still. A void only the real self could fulfill. A void, that emptiness is there because the real self was meant to fill that spot, but you disconnected from it. And you didn't do the work that I'm telling you now in this video to do, and I'm begging you to do it for the sake of your happiness. Because you think, okay, you think that's what you want. And you can be so convinced until you do the work and you peel back the layers and you realize, no, I thought that's what I wanted, but truly, I only wanted that because of this, that, and third. This is actually what I really, truly want. And if I go after this, I'm going to get that soul satisfaction. That soul satisfaction. This also aligns perfectly with the song that I just made. Forget the tale your mind keeps telling. Okay? That's like the main message of the song. And your mind is like what drives and controls the avatar. Okay? And so it's like your mind might be telling you this is what you want, or your mind might be telling you this is your story, this is your circumstance, this is who you are, this is what life is for you, or this is what your life is, this is what your life looks like, this is the trajectory. Take your mind out of the driver's seat. Forget the tale that your mind keeps telling, and connect to that voice of reason, to that thing higher than you, bigger than you, that intuition, right? That soul, that real self that speaks to you so oftentimes, but it can only really be heard when you're in the stillness and the silence and in solitude, and when you're back and when you're desperate to have another voice other than the voice of your mind, the voice of your avatar, because you see that that voice is leading you in the wrong direction. That voice is not working, which is so often why people don't actually listen to the real self until they're at rock bottom, because their mind literally drove them so far off course that now they're in rock bottom. They realize they can't rely on themselves. They need something higher, and that's when they actually submit and listen to that deeper thing that's been trying to speak to them this whole time. Don't wait till you reach to rock bottom to listen to it. Okay? Okay? Everything that you want, that you truly want, when you connect to the real self, is going to come with ease. It's going to come with ease. Okay? That's why this message is such a gem. Because so oftentimes we're trying to manifest because we want things to be easy. We want things to come with ease, right? But I'm telling you, connect to the real self. Listen to your voice. that voice. Let that guide you, okay? Not your mind. Forget the tale your mind keeps telling. All right? Like my song that I'm going to be releasing very soon. Plenty more gems in that song, by the way. But it connects perfectly with this video and the last video I just made. And that's how I know I'm in alignment. Because I just be talking and I be realizing that they're all connecting. I just made a song, and then I just made a YouTube video, and now I'm making another one, and now I'm realizing, what the hell, they're all connecting. It's like, what? Anyways, it's just so cool too. It's just cool. It's cool. I feel it's cool. It's just cool. Anyways, so that is the gem that I'm dropping. Everything that you want is going to come with ease. Because it is not the wants of the avatar, which is the false wants, okay? It is the wants of the soul. And you could also say it's the wants of the inner child, because your inner child was connected to the real self. You lost yourself along the way. You come back, you do the shadow work, you come back, you listen. And it will be complete. It will be done with ease. And you will be in a place in your life where you are satisfied, where you are content. Okay? When you are in a place of satisfaction, you will never be depressed. You will experience the emotions, sadness, anger, irritation, on a frequency that is bearable. Not at an unbearable rate where you want to commit suicide. Where you feel like there is no God because the pain is too much and no one was there to help you. The emotions, when you experience the emotions, it's never going to be to that extreme. It's never going to be extreme. And it's always going to have that be met with that underlying feeling of overall satisfaction, overall contentment. Okay? This is your gem. This is your gem right here. You want that soul relief, that satisfaction with your life, that contentment that you feel with your life. You want to feel like you're out of hell. This is how you do it. Listen, that soul satisfaction. Keyword satisfaction. Well, keyword soul satisfaction, like soul. Soul is also a key part of it too. But you can never truly be satisfied if it doesn't involve your soul. And I like that. Oh my gosh. That wasn't even me. That was my real self. Anyways, because I'm like, I know. Okay, I just want to clear this up real quick. I know that wasn't me and was my real self, because when I said it, I was beside myself. Like, I just learned something when I said it. It just came out and I was like, wait, really? I'd be like, what? Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. So, sorry. So, you can't even reach satisfaction without the involvement of your soul, your real self. without the involvement of your real self. So in the previous video, I spoke on the difference between happiness and satisfaction. And when you're going after your avatar, what your avatar longs for, what your avatar desires, which is only the false identity, the false sense, the false cover up of what's truly what you want, right? When you go after that, you're achieving happiness. Yeah, you're going to be happy when you first get $1 million. Who's not going to be? You're going to be happy when you start to blow up and become famous. Who's not going to be? You're going to be happy when you wake up one day and realize you have your dream body. When you get that guy you always wanted. Like, who's not going to be? But happiness is a temporary emotion. Happiness is a emotion, just like all the other emotions. Anger, sadness, excitement. All these emotions, they're a wave. They waver. They waver because they're a wave. Okay? Waves move like this. They're up, happy. Then they're like this, feeling eh. Then they're like this, feeling low, feeling sad. Then it goes spike up like this, feeling excitement. And then it might crash down like this, feeling depression. But the point is, your emotions don't move like this. Your emotions don't move like this. If your emotions move like this, you're dead, okay? You don't ever just feel one emotion forever. Unless you're not alive. Okay? Your emotions go like this. So the point I'm trying to make with that is that your emotions are temporary. Happiness is temporary. You want to aim for satisfaction. And like my real self just said, speaking through me, love it. I love it. Okay. I love her. I love me. What my higher self just said, speaking through me, is that you can't ever get that satisfaction without the involvement of your soul. So turn this video off because I'm about to end it right here, right now. Sit in that stillness, that boredom, that present moment, okay? And listen to the real self. Don't say to yourself, let me listen to God or let me talk to God. No. Don't say to yourself, let me connect to my intuition. No. I'm not 100% sure why words matter so much, probably because like words are spells. But when you say the correct term, even though like your intentions are to connect to the real self, when you say something like, let me connect to my intuition or let me talk to God or my inner child or whatever it is you might say, like your intention might be connecting to my real self. But when you actually say the right term, say the word, it's real. It does something. It hits different. It's necessary. It's relevant. And it's going to do wonders. It's going to make a difference. It's going to make it easier for the connection to actually happen. So, turn this video off. Sit and tell yourself, I'm going to connect to my real self. And start doing that by just talking to your real self. Talk to your real self. The real you that created the avatar you in order to grow in a certain area. Ask it. If you don't know what that certain area is and you don't want to look to your astrology chart, which honestly, I respect you for that. If you don't, because looking at an astrology chart is great, but it just makes it easier. Like, it's kind of like a cheat code. If you do it like the more authentic way of just like talking, spending lots of it's in my opinion, like it's the authentic way, but it's also harder. Like, it's a lot easier to just like look at your chart and then like use that to kind of do what you need to do. But you know, I commend you and I challenge you to do it the more authentic way, which would be to just listen deep to yourself, and allow that that vulnerability to come through between you, inner child, and your real self. Your real self. We all feel it when we're talking to ourselves that something's talking back. Some people call it the voice of reason. The voice of reason is your real self. Like, call it out. You feel what I'm saying? That's not coming from you. And you know this. You know this. So try it at home, okay? Turn this video off. I'm literally ending it right now. My finger is about to click the button. Goodbye. Go do the work. I love you. And that's why I made this video. Okay? Bye.